So far, we have seen the tools and techniques that underpin Kinetica's high-performance architecture. Kinetica's resource management features give it the ability to apply this cutting-edge performance to petabyte scale of data. There are two aims with resource management. The first is to easily scale the operating capacity of a cluster, and the second is to do that while maintaining high performance. The operating capacity simply means the size of the data that we can query. So, how does Kinetica go about doing this? It does it by backing the in-memory database with several tiers of disk-based storage using tiered storage. This allows Kinetica to store vast amounts of data on disk and then pull these into memory when needed. This means that we are not limited to expensive in-memory resources when storing data. Or for that matter, we're not even limited to the amount of disk space on your local storage, since we have the option of configuring remote cold storage. And the great part is that all of this can be done without the need for significant orchestration from a developer. Now, if you remember from earlier, disk-based storage is less performant than in-memory storage. So the challenge with adding tiers of disk storage is to figure out how to maintain high performance. Let's look at this next. Kinetica maintains high performance by doing two things. The first prioritizes data between the different tiers, and the second prioritizes requests based on the type of user making that request. The prioritization of data between the different tiers is done using tier strategies that set the eviction priorities for data objects. The eviction priority is simply the likelihood that an object will be evicted from a particular tier to a tier below it. Its value ranges from 1 to 10, where 1 indicates a high likelihood of eviction, while 10 indicates that it cannot be evicted from that tier. One way to use tier strategies would be to set the eviction priorities so that frequently used data objects are less likely to be evicted from memory when compared to those that are less frequently used. This helps limit data movement between the tiers and optimize memory usage. User requests are prioritized using resource groups. Each user in Kinetica is assigned to a resource group either explicitly or by default. The resource group determines the level of access that a particular user has to memory and computational resources. Different resource groups can be configured to control how fast a user's request should be serviced using a scheduling priority for each task, how much resources a user can consume by setting resource limits on things like CPU threads and memory, and how long a user's data should be in a particular tier using eviction priorities. So to summarize, Kinetica's resource management features enable it to guarantee query completion on petabyte scale of data and maximize performance while optimizing storage costs. It does this by providing tools to prioritize two things: data and user requests.